Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm looking out the window at the rain pouring down over Bristol. It is absolutely hammering it.
Raining in Bristol? God.
Raining. I was going to walk to the office.
That seems unbelievable.
And record from there this morning. We're starting to open up the office. There's a couple of people pottering in, but we've got like 2 meters between desks. You have to have a clean desk, and it gets wiped down. But some people have just we're being really careful. We've got like some arrows in the lifts, right? That are like up lifts, and unfortunately we only have one working lift, so the down lift doesn't work. The down is now the stairs. So if you want to go up, you can go up the lift and down the stairs, which obviously I'm sure the delivery drivers will enjoy. People still get their crap delivered to the office, even in this lockdown. So there's just like shit tons of mail like all over the place. We've got a foot-driven goo hand sanitizer dispenser now installed, so that's to wipe, clean your hands on the way in. We've got like a sign-in sheet to check who's been lurking around, so we can clean their desk. We've got like
lurking around. It's nice that you talk about the other people in the office as lurking around. I bet they appreciate it.
Yeah, it's and a couple of streams are happening from the office, and a couple of people are happening from the office.
People are happening.
Wow, you could turn it into a live birth center. Have you got the pool
Mostly
and everything for
people
births?
who can't stand being at home any longer, or are able to get in without taking public transport. But actually, like, we sent out an email, and it's basically, we said, like, if you don't want to come in again, then you pretty much don't have to. Certain things have been better. We've definitely been more communicative because we've got a big group Discord. Everyone's more aware of what other people are doing because you can just look in the other channels and be like, oh, these guys work on this thing. These guys work on this thing. Other things have been worse. Like, I think we've been less social. We tried to organize a few social events, like movie night. We've had a couple of movie nights. We had a couple of games nights where we played board games together on tabletop.
You know what I find interesting? I don't know, Sip, maybe you were invited to these things. I didn't hear a peep.
Yeah, well, it's what happens when you don't live in and around Bristol. You just get
we're just fucking shunned.
Yeah.
What are you clicking? Who's clicking away?
I'm sending an email to another network. I'm just like, get me out of here.
Yeah, he wants to find some people who will treat him with dignity and respect.
With love and respect. I can hear one of you. What have you been up to? What's interesting with you guys? I got
a haircut.
Sorting stuff.
Oh, congrats.
Our hairdressers are open again. Yeah, they're open again. Schools are opening here next week for us as well. So everybody's going back to school. So we have to. My kids, in the time that they've been locked down, have outgrown their school shoes. So we have to get them new shoes.
Same. My year 6, my eldest, she's gone back.
Yeah.
She's been back for a couple of weeks, and her uniform is very tight. And we're like, this is your last year in primary school. You're starting secondary school after summer. We're not buying you anything. And the teachers and everything were like, look, if they don't fit into their school clothes, don't worry about it. Just they can wear whatever. So, within reason.
I think that's fair enough. This whole year's a write-off, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was Rob Delaney was saying on Twitter the other day, he said this academic year is a write-off. And the expectation that people should be at home homeschooling their kids on top of trying to work a full-time job when you're working at home and everything else that you have to do is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the expectation is. Like,
there isn't one. I genuinely don't think anyone is out there like, oh my God, how did the kids not learn as much as they would have in school without school?
I mean,
no one's saying that.
Surely.
No,
but kids are sponges anyway. They're always learning stuff no matter what. Like, they don't need to be in a classroom setting just to learn, right? Like, there's constantly.
I don't think they are sponges. My 2 certainly never fucking listen to a word I say. So if they're sponges, they're very selective.
Well, selective sponges is probably they don't. My kids don't listen to me either. Like, I have to repeat myself.
That sounds pretty good. A selective sponge, like you could see that on the supermarket shelves, right? Like,
that would be handy.
Yeah, cleans up. Like, it's like when you spill, your coffee onto a surface full of crumbs and shit. If you could just selectively sponge up the coffee, get it back cleanly into that cup, that would be really good.
You would drink selectively.
You look great today, sponge. Thank you. I will absorb that. And then you can say to the sponge, "Geez, you're fucking stupid, sponge." I will not absorb that. I'm not absorbing. The absorption is gone. It's out. I deny.
Oh my God! I didn't say sensitive sponge. God,
sensitive. emotionally sensitive.
Emotionally fragile sponge. I think that's what we all are, actually, as well. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's human nature. Like these days, I don't think people take that into account. We're expected to be some sort of like, I don't know, robot, or we're expected to have some like perfect programming somehow or something. But man, people always have been and always will be different and fucked up for different reasons as well, right? Like,
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's
You are
impossible.
not wrong.
It's impossible to get it to be right or get it right or live up to like a standard or other standards or whatever. I think the best you can do is just be yourself. And did you know that they're rebooting Bill and Ted?
Yes, I saw the trailer. It looks horrible.
It really does look bad. Yeah. Fuck me. It caught me by surprise. I was watching trailers the other day from, sorry, I know that seems like a really weird segue, but I was about to,
please.
I was about to end what I was saying with
this podcast is all about segues.
Be excellent to each other and party on, dude. Like the quote from Bill and Ted. And it made me,
that was where that train of thought was going.
It was, it made me think of Bill and Ted. And then I realized, hang on, they're
Peace,
rebooting
love,
it.
unity and respect.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that trailer,
well, it didn't look
it
great.
looks shocking. Yeah, it looks really bad.
Well, it's like a new generation. So I was talking to Ben yesterday at the start of this TTT recording. And
about Bill and Ted?
He was chatting about how he saw this post on Reddit, and I did as well. There was like there's been some posts where like Zoomers, the new generation, have been sort of ragging on millennials in the same way that boomers have. So millennials are getting it from both ends, right? Obviously, boomers are always like looking down on millennials, calling them like slackers and layabouts, and they don't know how hard days work in their life. And, and millennials are always like, oh, boomers took all the money and we can't afford houses now and we have to live in shipping containers and RVs and all this. Anyway, the younger generation have been getting on complaining about millennials, saying that they're all, they all pick a Harry Potter house that they're part of, and they eat avocado toast, and all the other wonderful complaints about.
Jeez, yeah, that stuff's so terrible. Fuck me.
I know, it's funny though. It's funny and sort of. And I was like,
wait, who's eating avocado toast? Millennials are.
Yes.
See, I would say that Zoomers would be eating that stuff. That seems
they can't afford it.
Much more recent, a much more recent fad than it would have been for millennials, right? Like avocado on toast is what, like within the last decade that became.
Right, but the point is, who are the grown-ups now? It's the millennials, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So
it's this Gen Z, right? And it's kind of, I like it. I like seeing it. But the thing is, Ben was like, I'm glad I'm not a millennial, and I was like, you are. No, you are. We're millennials, me and you, and because I guess you two are just.
We've had this conversation like 50 times.
We've had this. You're a little bit
Gen
early,
X.
but
yeah.
So I had to explain to Ben, and the way I explained to him that we were millennials was I saw this picture on Reddit, which is like it was on r/cool guides, which I am a big fan of.
Yeah.
Cool.
And wow, that did make me sound like a late Gen X there. But no, it's this kind of picture. It's in the Discord at the moment, but it shows like the TV shows that were on and when you were a kid and what resonates with you. And just looking at it at a glance, I recognize everything in one box, and then like the next box, I don't recognize anything. And I'm like, what the fuck is Ben 10? What the fuck is like the Batman animated series? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I guess you guys maybe are not quite at the point, because I know Ben 10 and the Batman stuff because my kids watched it.
Exactly.
So being a little older, I don't know
Bat
exposed
10.
to that stuff.
Bat 10, Ben 10. I don't know Ben 10.
It was a cartoon about a kid called Ben.
Right.
I think he was 10.
I mean, it makes sense.
And there was space stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
He could turn into a robot or something. He had powers.
Right.
I never really watched it.
Okay.
A generation of like stuff that came out sort of, or like late sort of like, I don't know, there was this generation of late millennials that I just didn't know any of, and I didn't watch any of it. Like, I don't know. Like, just looking at this picture, like Teen Titans, Spy Kids, Samurai Jack, Kim Possible, Invader Zim. Some people
these are
will
all
be
shows
like,
my kids love.
Watched all of these things, and I have never basically ever heard of any.
Steven Universe, you know that one?
No.
My kids
No.
love Steven Universe. Oh my god, they love that show.
And then I look at this one, and I'm like, this one is just sips. Look at it. It's like G.I. Joe, Inspector Gadget, Hulk Hogan, the Goonies, Thundercats, Smurfs, DuckTales.
Yeah, that's all stuff
Ninja
I grew
Turtles,
up with.
Roger Rabbit,
Yeah.
Great Mouse Detective. It's just like Rocky IV. It's like sips in a Karate Kid.
Yeah.
It's like sips in a nutshell.
Yeah, that was my whole childhood. Those are all shows that were on, popular at the time. I watched them. Like I was the target demographic for He-Man when He-Man came out. I was a 5-year-old kid,
And that shaped you into
and
the man you are today.
they made those action figures for small children. That's what they were going for. They wanted small kids to
They found one in Sips.
get those
found a lad.
toys,
Get ripped.
and buy them all, collect them all. It was exciting though. I like when I look back to the stuff that was coming out when I was a kid and everything, like G.I. Joe, He-Man, all that kind of stuff is awesome. God,
So I wonder if
lucky to be a kid in that era for sure. Like those
do people still
great
have
toys.
the issue of stuff selling out as much? Because in the past, you had to go to a store to get it, and obviously they have a limited stock. But nowadays, I guess you can order stuff online. I know stuff
it
obviously
still
sells out, but it must be different.
does, yeah.
No. There's this whole thing, right? This actually, you've really hit it. Like, there's this whole thing around artificial scarcity.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like this big thing on Instagram, this big thing on marketing, and the idea is that you put out this product, and you put such a limited amount out that it sells out really quick, and then everyone is left with this feeling of being displayed. Oh my gosh, this thing's sold out, and I'm feeling disappointed, and I didn't have a chance to order it. So when the next thing comes along, which is in a week's time, everyone is like, "Oh shit, okay, I have to order this quickly."
Yeah,
or else
it's a
gonna
trick.
sell out
It's a
again.
trick that makes you into a better consumer, right? Like you
and
try
so
harder
there's
next
this
time.
whole thing
Yeah.
about stuff being sold out, or at least like certainly on the biggest. You know, like some of these Instagram influencers have like millions of followers. Honestly, like you wouldn't believe, and they sell out these things so quickly. But it's part of the strategy. You know, if they wanted to, they could make plenty of lipstick.
So you
packs or
create
whatever.
FOMO by
you create it, yeah,
Wow.
and it's really like you have to watch out for it because it's completely fake.
Well,
but it
all
works
I ever
so
worry
well.
about is my corner shop out of cider, and does my vape store have my flavor? Those are the only two things I regularly panic about running out of.
Yeah,
Those things are always in good supply, though. You know,
but
like
didn't you massively stockpile a load of vape stuff?
I'm just reaching the bottom third of my stockpile last week, and I ordered replacements to restock. Just to be on the safe side.
I made a
Good.
decision at the weekend that I've got this like
he's going to start
little
vaping.
cupboard next to my
Unbelievable.
kitchen,
You're going to take up vaping?
which I don't.
I have
don't do it.
a reliable source has told me that you're going to take up vaping.
Yeah,
It was
that was
Sips.
his 2020
Yeah.
plan. He was
So there's a cupboard next to my kitchen, right?
You
Which
have
I
a
call the
cupboard in your kitchen?
Yeah, I call it the pantry because it's
Ooh.
like a walk-in
a
cupboard.
walk-in pantry. Very nice.
All that's in there is boxes of old shit from when I moved, like mostly books, Warhammer models, stuff that I haven't bothered to unpack, right?
Right.
If only you had an extended period of time at home would have allowed you to get round to that.
Well, I have, and I'm looking at like 3 big bags of books that I'm going to take up to the charity shop. So they're all like nice quality still, but I couldn't. It was closed, so I couldn't bring them up. But now I've got this space in my pantry, and I want to make like a doomsday organizer, right? So I've got like 5 toothpastes in there, like five shampoos. Do you know what I mean? Like so, because I'm a person who during this whole thing has kind of, and also during my life, has kind of, I've bought a new toothpaste when my toothpaste ran out, right?
Right.
Or like sometimes I wouldn't be able to clean my teeth in the morning with toothpaste because it had just run out the night before. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't manage to squeeze an additional half of a. You know, I just had to like.
You have no reserves whatsoever? Like
No, I've never had reserves. I've never really had reserves of anything, of like washing up liquid or dishwasher tablets or anything.
I mean, there's certain things that you just have to have reserves of. I mean, it's not going to kill you to have 2 tubes of toothpaste on hand.
Well, no, but the thing is, I'm not someone who automatically like. I know that there are some people who. This is what those. I saw a couple of years ago. There was this fad of people buying those Amazon buttons where you put the button like on your wall or whatever next to the toothpaste, and when your toothpaste ran out, you press the button and that ordered a new toothpaste.
Good
right?
God.
And so there was this whole fad where people had all these buttons around their house, and whenever something ran out, they just pressed the button and it would order them a new one.
Yeah.
Right.
This sounds like one of those .com boom bullshit things that fucking failed.
It feels incredibly wasteful as well. Just all the technology that's gone into those buttons, but also the fact that you're going to have to Amazon out like a single-use fucking plastic
it's
box
pathetic.
with an extra toothpaste in there or whatever. I don't know. I was never a fan of that, but I understood why the mentality behind it. Like if you don't have much space and you are living in like a fucking shipping container because you're a millennial eating avocados, and
how many of them live in shipping containers?
You run out of avocado shuckers.
How
or whatever.
many people are we putting in the shipping container category here? How many is it?
A lot.
Millions?
There's millions in there.
I don't believe
millions
you.
of people.
I have never
living
seen
in
a single
shacks.
shipping container.
There's not that many
one.
people living in shipping containers.
All right, fine. They're not living in shipping containers. They're living in like a shitty flat with 6 other millennials. That's what they're doing.
Jesus.
Because they can't afford. They have to have a flat share, and it's tough. It's tough being out there in the real world. P-flax.
Yeah.
Mate.
I bet you one of them in there has the sensibility to have a reserved tube of toothpaste on hand.
Avocados ain't cheap.
I bet you one of them went to the store and just bought 2 instead of 1. Because
I know, and often they are on offer 2 for 1 and stuff, and so sometimes that's why I have extra.
Right.
But I'm not saying I've never had a spare toothpaste in my cupboard, but there's always something that's missing. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always down to my last.
I just can't believe you got to the point where you could not brush your teeth because you had 0 toothpaste. You can't get to that
I'm
point.
starting to.
That's rock bottom.
You get to the point where there's hardly any left in the tube, and once you start having to really twist it, and
you
that
cut
tiny
open the
little
tube
bit,
and scrape it out off the walls. Yeah,
and that reminds you, I better get some toothpaste.
Yeah,
but you're making out this is some hardship, but you're also saying this is a
it's not a
generation that
hardship.
wants to push a button and get toothpaste airdropped onto their house.
Just think it is. I feel like I am blessed with the space for a pantry that I'm wasting, and I want to just
what you should
have.
do if you're wondering what to do with that space.
What?
Fill it with empty mason jars, okay? And then when people come to visit your place, you can show them the pantry, and then just sort of do a lingering stare at them, like a creepy stare, and they're looking at like this cupboard full of empty mason jars. And maybe they'll think twice about visiting you again. It's like mosquito spray. You know what I mean? Like you're
right for friends,
for people.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah. You want to mess with this? I don't think you do. I got lots of empty mason jars in my pantry.
All right, change of subject. I want to get this off my chest. All right.
Right.
This is to all of you out there. I'm calling you what you are. Litterbugs.
Right.
All right? I've had enough. I go to the park with my kids, trying to raise them right. What do I see but a bunch of kids about 10, maybe 15 years older than my eldest, having a barbecue in the middle of the park or in the Twickenham Green or something like that, with those little horrible disposable metal fire hazards that set fire to the forest down in Dorset, near where my mum lives. They scorch the grass, and what do I see after you've had your fucking barbecue? I see all your shit just left on the ground. Now, I was trying to say to my daughter, I was like, how does that happen? Like, imagine if us 3 went out for a barbecue, and at the end of it, I stood up and went, right, we're done here, and walked off. What would you say? Wouldn't you say, Flax, we're going to pick this shit up? If I was like, that'd be ridiculous. Just leave it there on the ground. Wouldn't one of you say something?
There wouldn't be anything to leave on the ground,
something?
because if Lewis had anything to do with it, we'd have no backup hot dogs or hamburgers or anything. We'd just be standing there looking at each other.
I tell you what it is. I tell you what happens. Here's the scenario. You go out with all your friends, okay? And some of them invite their friends. Some of those guys or girls are incredibly annoying. So even though you've come there and you've brought the barbecue and you've made your sausages and you've been generous, and you've been kind, and you're the friendly guy, you're the nice guy, those people are shit and they're annoying, and you leave first, right? And because there's still the barbecue and stuff around there, you don't clear that up, because you leave it to them because you think someone else, one of them will clean it up, right? You're going first and you've had enough of them. So you go because you were like, I brought the barbecue. I'm not going to clean it up. That's their job. But those guys are assholes, P-Flax. And that's why you left.
Right,
and then
but
you
here's my question.
You just assume that they're not that bad. They're assholes, but they're not that bad.
Here's my question, though.
No one thinks it's their responsibility because they didn't bring it.
Right, but hold on. What I'm saying is, I understand that there are people out there that litter. It's a fact of life. Some people are assholes and they just don't care. But how do they congregate in groups? And how does everyone in that group share the same interest in littering? Because I don't know any social groups that I could be in, of all my friends, everyone that I know, who would be happy to do that. And it's not like I've specifically gone out and sought non-litterers. You know what I mean? It's not like I know for a fact that my friends wouldn't litter, but I genuinely would assume that they wouldn't. And I've never seen evidence that they litter. But these people are out in groups of 10 people, and every single one of them is hardcore committed to littering to the point where they will leave a ridiculous amount of stuff in a huge pile on Twickenham Green. Walked past it the other day, and I'm thinking that is like a 10, 12 person barbecue, and not one person has said, lads, we should pick this up. And in fact, the majority has agreed not to pick it up. Where are they meeting?
Well, this is the thing.
I want to know, if you're a litterer out there, I want to know, do you guys have a Discord server? Do you have like a Facebook group where you get together and say, let's go for a barbecue and leave everything on the fucking ground?
These are the kind of people,
how do you get to the point where they all do it? Right, that's my point,
I've
Lewis.
already
Where are they
talked
meeting?
I've talked about all the shit we're doing in the office, right? With like actually giving shit about distancing and being careful and not inviting people in. There's fucking people having a rave on like the local bit of green turf. There's like a fucking gang of like, I'm chatting to someone with a face mask at 2 meters away, and there's like 15 people like slapping each other on the back in a circle, like laughing and shitting all over themselves. I'm like, fuck is going on? Like, why? They're assholes, P-Flax.
Right, but
I think those are people
we've got
that
to a
have
point
had...
now where people are so sick of this lockdown shit that people are like, oh, it's over. Okay, I don't know what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do. I'm just gonna fucking just spread disease everywhere.
No, I think some of those people have had COVID and they're celebrating. They've gotten past it, so they're now like immune to it or whatever. That's what they're doing. They're just going around and slapping each other on the back and stuff. Like they find other people in a similar situation, and it's party time. They're done. They've done their bit. They're past it. They don't need to worry anymore. So I think in some cases when you see people doing that, that's what's happened. You know what I mean?
I see.
They feel okay about everything because they've developed like their immunity or whatever through having it and surviving it and stuff. And now they're out there slapping each other's butts.
I think that's a nice assumption,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I conclude the same as you.
No, I mean, it's
I'm just
probably not
surprised
the
that
case,
these
but-
groups of people get together, and I'm thinking that there must be some underlying personality trait. Like, people tend to go with like-minded people, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you go out with a bunch of people and they're just, you don't get along with them for whatever reason, there must be groups of people out there that I don't like or don't get along with, and they're the ones who, it must coincide with the urge to litter. What is that personality? It can't just be arsehole. That's too easy. There must be something else going on that links these people together so strongly. It's not an age thing, because I know plenty of young people that don't litter and fucking get as angry about it as everybody else. But what is that character trait? I'd love to know.
The littering one.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the drinking. After a few drinks,
Yeah, you loosen
just
up and you just don't
get a bit leery.
You just don't care about garbage anymore. Yeah, you're just like, oh man, just whatever.
I realize this is the most old man rant I've ever had, but
It's
annoying.
very. We live in a society, but I know
It's very annoying.
It is.
I mean, I'm
though,
sorry.
yeah,
There's no
it's-
way around it. It's disgusting.
It's pretty ignorant, isn't it?
Young people are meant to
litter?
care more about the planet than the older generation.
So what do we do? What do you do if you see someone littering? Do you hose them
I
down
tut
as
as
you go
loudly
by?
as possible.
Tut, right.
Give it one of
But
these. Let me
you
see
don't
if the mic can even pick it up.
Well, like egos and principles aside and stuff, Flax. If you really cared that much, you would clean it up after them. I'm just saying.
Well, what am I meant to do?
Clean it
I don't
up.
I don't have a bin bag.
Well,
I don't have anything.
That's probably why it's there in the first place. They didn't have one either, evidently.
Right,
so.
but there's a bunch of them. You pick up something. There are bins. There's a bin 20 feet away.
Yeah.
And they still don't use it. That's what annoys me.
Yeah.
And if you know you're going somewhere there's no bins, you bring a bag. It's just horrifying.
So did you just leave it there though? As when you left?
Sorry, that's bullshit.
No,
that argument is bullshit.
I'm not. It's not an argument. It's a question. It's just a question.
I just said to you, I don't walk around with a fucking bin bag.
No, I know you don't, but you just left it there.
Hang on a second. Don't you walk the dog with a bin bag?
No, she has a tiny poop bag. I'd have to use the entire roll of poop bags.
A shovel.
And I'm talking. This is like a party level.
Is it like a
pile of
sandwich
rubbish?
bag?
Right.
What if you had a bigger dog, though?
They still only come in one size, the poop. The poops don't get that much bigger.
There's a thing that happens in Bristol, which is annoying, where it's like a really not hot day. Everyone goes out and everyone cleans up their litter, okay?
Right.
But the problem is there's only 1 or 2 bins around the square, right?
They fill up
so
quick.
rather than people going or walking or taking their crap further, they just leave the shit on the side of the bin or perched on the bin or somewhere near the bin. You know, they don't bother to go and find a different bin. It's all well. It's like I'm gonna put it in this bin, but I'm gonna neatly arrange it at the bottom of the bin in a display. And so it's like
a diorama.
There's like
poop bags.
It's like a fucking set of Skittles of bottles. You know what I mean? Like a triangle of bottles. And all that fucking happens is some seagull comes along looking for some chips or whatever and just fucking puts it everywhere. It's just, and then it just is spread across a whole wide area, you know, like a wild animal's got into it. And you see it all the fucking time happening. And I it's like, it's just part of it. But like, that annoys me that you think, you know, it's like, I realize this is full, but that's not my fault that the bin's full. But there's like loads of little psychological tricks that people like just ordinary people, reasonable people are like, well, I can't be asked to walk over to that side of the square. There's a bin right here. I didn't fill it up.
I'll confess, if there's a bin that's full, I'll go for the perch. But I do that at home as well.
Right.
Like I'll put something, because I think when I empty it, I can put it in the bag, bingo, bango, bosh.
But the perch is always it's like if your bin's full. I do this as well. You know, if the bin's full, I just push it down a bit.
Oh, you got to squinch it.
Put it on top. And if it doesn't give, then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I will just bounce this on top until I have to. But then all you're doing is putting off the inevitable and making it much worse when you do have to inevitably empty the bin and making it harder for yourself.
Do you guys recycle?
You know?
Do you guys recycle at home?
Yeah, everything.
Of course we do. Yeah, I recycle a lot of stuff. But a few things do go in that stinky bin.
All right, so here's my question, right? Where I live, everybody else on my road, I don't know where they all got the memo, but everybody puts out their recycling bins on the front, right? Like, you know,
they copy other people.
Yeah, you put it on the
this
pavement.
guy's doing it.
We're the only house that doesn't do it. I always forget, and I have never done it in all the years we've lived here. We've had recycling bins for like 10 or 15 years or something like that. I've never put the box on the pavement.
Set yourself a little reminder. You're an old man.
I could do that, but even when I was a younger man, I didn't do it. And my thinking is, it's literally 1 foot to like, you literally take one step into my front garden, it's there. Like, we don't have a big front garden where you've got to go all the way up to the house. It's like literally the smallest little London front garden you can imagine. It's like the bin is there. And I'm thinking, I remember when I had a pushchair and there's a guy on my road in a wheelchair trying to get down the road with all these bins and everything is a pain in the ass. And all that happens is the wind blows and it blows bits of people's recycling all over the road. If I keep it on my property, no one's going to have to bump into it. No one's going to have to go around it. And if it blows out, it's my problem. It's not the street's problem. I think putting the bins out in my situation is a bad one. So I'm happy not to do it. But I'm worried that the bin men don't like me, that we're like the bad house. Because I watched this video of this little kid.
It's only a matter of time before they don't take your bin.
Right. There's this little kid on YouTube. And when the bin men would come around, he would run out to greet them. And he would make them cookies, and he would say hello to them, and he would chat with them and follow them around.
Bin fan.
Well, one of the guys,
garbage.
They would pick him up and let him push the buttons and everything. I was thinking, that must be great for a kid. I'm the opposite of that visit. Like, they come here, I haven't even put my boxes out, it's full of cider, and they must be thinking, this guy sucks. This house sucks. And I feel bad about that. But I'm not going to change.
That's right. They watch it. They're like, they drive up to you and it's like a dark house, and they see the curtains like twitch, and this pale, bald Voldemort face leers out of the upstairs window with a frown on his face, a scowl. He's just been recording the Triforce podcast, and he scowls at them, and he wonders, and he's thinking, oh, I hope they're going to take the soda bottles out of my front garden. I wonder if I've upset them.
I thought it was Voldemort.
Worried, and you could tell his face.
Severus, Severus, they're taking the recycling, Severus.
Yes, my lord.
They didn't take the cardboard, Severus. Thank goodness one of my Horcruxes slipped into the recycling this week.
That's
It would be
right.
a disaster.
Horcruxes, right? That was a thing.
Yes, you're getting it. It's a millennial. You're a millennial now. Welcome
What's
welcome to
Horcrux?
the
Is that a thing
generation.
or a house?
It was one of the other bits that was ripped off of Lord of the Rings that was shoved in the books, where Voldemort has put his power, he's infused it into an object. But a bunch of them, and you need to destroy them all before you can kill him. A bit like the One Ring in Lord of the Rings. It's just a coincidence.
It's the standard sort of trope. Anyway, I just like the idea that the bin men are watching you in the same way that you're watching the Spy House, in the same way that they're watching their bin men on the other side. It's like, I don't know, it's like a kind of string of spying.
Do you want a Spy House update?
Is there one?
There is.
Okay.
It's quite intriguing. So a couple of weeks ago, some burly lads turned up. Do you remember I told you there were some Russians working in the garden? And they've now boarded up the back of the house. They put a gate on the side, and they've like cleaned up massively. And I thought that the guy had hired them to do that. It was the council, because their new neighbors complained and said this place is like stinks and there's like stuff growing into our property. Can you do something? The council turned up and basically like animal proofed the entire thing. But my new neighbor, the guy over there, he went and had a peek in through the window, and he said it's like frozen in time from the late 90s. So there's a computer there with one of those massive old CRT monitors that's like huge. And he said all it is like it's literally
It's like a skeleton with his hand on his dick.
just dial up porn. That's what the guy died watching.
He died waiting for the internet
waiting for it to
floor
load.
page to load.
Poor bastard. He was 2 years from one man.
One day this picture will load and I'll see her muff. All I can see is the nipples.
Muff.
Fucking dial up.
But he said he peeked in through the window and it's just like a huge streak of filth and animal rubbish and stuff that's just blown in because it's been open to the elements for so long. But other than that, the house is untouched, like frozen for, well, it's been years and years and years. It was quite eerie.
I mean, is this is just an example of an investment, or does some old chap own it and not
No,
live
I
there
think I said
anymore?
on a
Has he
previous
gone
week
on the run to
that
Singapore.
The guy lives in Teddington.
Right.
This house that he owns was like their second house, and they'd rented it out and all the rest of it. An old lady used to live downstairs. She subsequently died, so now it's just kind of left. His wife is sick, so he's looking after her rather than doing anything to do with the house. So it's just been left sort of forgotten.
Just hasn't had time.
It hadn't had,
I
had
see it happening.
the attention it needs. But I'm thinking,
and also I could see
just
him
sell
just
it.
thinking, fuck it, can't be asked. But what's he need? He's obviously doesn't need for anything. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the hassle. Doesn't want to sell it because he thinks, oh, well, if I could get around to it, if I just get a weekend, I'll go in there, I'll tidy it up, and that'll give it a much. Oh,
if he popped in, he would sell it straight away. He'd be like, I'm in over my head. There's no way I'm going to take the time to fix this up. It's a huge job. Like it's an awful lot of work. He should sell it. House flipper.
Yeah, you should buy it.
Me and Sip should buy it and house flip it.
Oh yeah, I love that. I only like doing that in a virtual setting though, Flax. I don't know if I would want to do that in a real life.
Wouldn't you like it? We go to the house, we walk around, we talk
Trash it,
about
and
what
then-
we could put here. We create a virtual version of the house in House Flipper, so we can try things out and see how it looks and all the rest of it. And we think, you know what, we could put some stairs in there.
Yeah. So we want to keep all the period stuff. We'll keep the skeleton
Fireplace
wanking
out
off.
to stairs, CRT, monitor house to
if we just veneer the skeleton and we just mount him on the wall,
take it out a
we
few
keep
meters of the back,
and
put
keep
some
the
new
CRT
tiling
monitor
in.
that's quite retro.
Also fountain. I'm thinking fountain in the garden.
Yeah, and all the dead bodies that are in the basement, we'll just keep those in as a kind of themed kind
Retro.
of torture room.
Torture.
Yeah.
That could be you and me, Sips.
It,
Just
it
imagine.
could be, yeah, but at the same time, it's like I think if you're gonna do that, that's got to be like your only thing to do, right? That's enough to do. You wouldn't.
I mean,
wanna...
I live next to it.
Yeah, I know.
It would be super easy.
You're not wrong. It would take you. I mean, I wrote an email that took me 3 hours. It took me a whole day to write an email this week.
How long was
and
the
I
email?
Wasn't even that long. I just felt, and no one really even read it. I was just sort of, I felt like I needed to do like an update newsletter to everyone, and so I was like, here's what's going on and stuff, and it just.
Did you send it to
took
me?
The whole fucking day.
I got that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Yogscast newsletter number 1.
That was the first
Yeah,
newsletter.
yeah.
Very, yeah.
Took me.
I scrolled through the headings and I realized none of them applied to me. So I just kind of I appreciated it though.
No, well, exactly. I think that was generally everyone's response.
You should put some more clip art in there just to spruce it up a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Clip art.
newsletters normally have pictures to sort
Also, I
of.
want to know what you've been up to and your family. So you'd say, little Janie started school and grandpa's 84 this year. Can you believe it? Stuff like that. That kind of stuff needs to be in there. Otherwise, I just think you don't care about.
I didn't add enough funny bits.
It was very serious.
Yeah.
Also, the
It's very
first
dry.
topic is obviously brand deals, and I don't get those
Right.
very often.
No.
So I was like, what are you gonna do?
You're not popular
I'm not
enough.
brandable.
You're just not brandable, yeah.
You're not very brandable. If we ever get like a bowling ball company in,
Whoa.
or like an egg company,
Yeah.
wants some sponsorship, or like a polishing company, like I don't know, or snooker,
Explain the connection with snooker.
the cue ball,
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything else?
Come on, keep going.
billiards.
Keep going.
Cool.
I'm almost there.
So, some people listen to this podcast and they're bold too. I'm happy to be their representative and to take this on
I
the
cannot
the
talk.
bald head. Instead of that, we don't use our chin. We take it right on the top of our head because you know what? We have to live with this.
Yeah.
And if you want to point it out constantly and make fun of it, you go ahead. If it makes you feel like a big man, Lewis, with your
Well,
pantry full of
yeah.
garbage.
Well, so we should mention, by the way, I haven't mentioned it yet, that this podcast now has a sponsor, ExpressVPN, which I use at home.
Yeah. What do you need a VPN for, though, Lewis?
Well, it's totally legit. You could use it for whatever you
Right.
keep your privacy safe.
You don't
it's
use
just-
one, Sips?
You really should do, by the way.
I do.
Well, you should. It's for your own personal safety.
Right.
It's quite a useful tool. I've used it quite a lot in like hotels and like free Wi-Fi areas and stuff.
Right.
Just because people, you don't know who's collecting your data there, do you?
True, yeah. True
But
enough.
but also I do use it quite a lot to just access other countries and
Access their defense matrices.
Well, a lot of the time you'll go to YouTube, right, and there'll be like a John Oliver video, and it'll be like, "This country is blocked in your
Oh
location."
God, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That happens
hate
a lot.
that. I fucking hate
Anyway,
that.
we did an advert for it, and it was a bit wooden, right?
Right.
So no, we need to be less wooden. Much like this. This is an advert for it.
Yeah.
ExpressVPN.com/Triforce to get 3 months free.
Nice.
Of VPN if you want. Sips, you should try it.
Is that your script, or is that you just saying
This
it?
is me riffing it.
Okay.
So
Well, that was
um,
thrilling, mate. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, expressvpn.com/Triforce. You can get it now.
For your health.
So you got your hair cut, Sips. You said that at the start. Did you do it? Did you do it yourself?
No.
Or Did your lady wife
no,
cut it?
it was. They opened up barbershops and hairdressers here last Friday as part of our lockdown exit strategy plan thing.
Okay.
So mostly everything
noticed,
is now
mate.
open over here, which is nice. So life is just slowly sort of going back to normal, especially with the kids going back to school next week and stuff. That'll be that'll be good too.
Did you have to cut your kids' hair during the lockdown?
No,
Is
we
that something
didn't.
that
So
you got
by the
done
time me and my son got our hair cut because
together,
because well, he can't.
did you
go,
get it? Did you take turns or did you do it at the same
No,
time?
we
sat next to
well,
each
well
other?
it was nice because we went. We were in town because, like I said, the lockdown is easing substantially over here. So I took the kids.
And you turned to each other and you said, "Let's get a haircut."
No, kinda, yeah. So I took my kids to town because it's just a thing that we do on the weekend. Like go have a look around and stuff. There's things that they like to do, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're
I just
walking around
imagine
town, and I
you're
thought,
like out there.
We were
in
close to the-
square. It's like sunny. Like got the barbecue going.
yeah, littering and just doing all that kind of stuff.
Having a good time.
So we were walking by or close to where the barbershop was, and I thought, I'll just go check. I'll just go see what's up. Like they just opened yesterday, so it's probably gonna be busy. Let's just go look and see what the deal is, sort of thing. So I get there and it's empty, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. And I look on the door and there's a sign that says, we're only doing appointments. We still have to social distance. Everybody's wearing like hazmat suits and stuff in there. So I said to the lady, like, me and my son really need a haircut. Can I book an appointment like for as soon as you guys can get like fit us in, sort of thing? And they're like, yeah, we'll put you in for like next Thursday in the morning or something. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's fine. And then one of the ladies like in the back sort of pipes up and says, the person I'm waiting for's appointment is 10 minutes late. So I can do one of you right now because I'm not just waiting around. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to turn up 10 minutes late, fuck you,
that's the
basically.
dream, isn't it? Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Just do my son. Let's get him a haircut, because it was like really like in his eyes, everything.
Yeah. He saw this guy on the internet, P Flax, that he wants what he's got.
Yeah.
So here's a picture. Get the polisher
I'm just
out.
over here chilling.
Yeah. So she starts cutting his hair. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I'm glad that we came and checked this out. Like, it's good he's getting a haircut and stuff. And then this other lady pipes up while my son's getting his haircut. And she's like, oh,
I'm free.
My appointment is also 10 minutes late. Do you want me to cut your hair? I didn't even say anything about me getting a haircut. She just took one look at me and thought, this guy needs a haircut really bad. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Whatever. That's fine. So I got my haircut too, and it was one of those sweet little victories, when you're just like, fuck me, like I just completely lucked out. I took the opportunity, and now I don't have to turn out later in the week to get my haircut or anything. I'm ready to go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the shop's opened here this week, and I walked past Primark on the Monday because I was heading into the office, and my God, the queue was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was like it went on for miles.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not letting people, they're being a bit careful, and people are sort of keeping the distance and stuff, but it's like I was like blown away that so many people needed to buy shit from Primark. Like I didn't realize that, I don't know, so many people had run out of, I don't know, fucking
Lycra
bras.
No, well,
cheap bras.
People want to prepare for when they can go out again. Right?
They want to look good.
They want to look good. They want to feel good too. People have been locked down for a long time.
I heard that they weren't allowing people into fitting rooms.
Right.
I was also hearing that anytime people, like, there was like you were given, you just weren't allowed to touch things, right? So you had to like put stuff in a basket, and then if you didn't buy it, that stuff got disinfected and burned. Yeah, they just piled it up by the bin for the seagulls.
Fitting room takes on a whole different meaning for me. Like if I'm forced to go into a clothes store, I need a room where I can just go in and have a fit, because like I'm inside in my head, I'm in such intense amounts of pain. I hate going clothes shopping. Like I hate being dragged into a clothes store. Man, it's so boring.
I can understand like why people don't want to buy their clothes and shoes online, right? Because I think it's always a dumb thing to do, right? People need to try that shit on, or else it's just doesn't fucking, it never works. I don't think I've ever bought a pair of shoes online that fitted. I think I had to buy some ski shoes at one point, and I couldn't find anywhere that sold them, so I bought some online, and they were just the worst. I had to wear I think I had to put insoles in them to like make them, the gel things to make my feet fit. And then I had to wear these massive socks or whatever, so my feet weren't just echoing around in these gigantic empty boots.
Right.
And I put up with them because I, spent the money online.
I buy t-shirts online all the time.
Yeah,
Jumpers.
that's true. I think tops and stuff is okay, but you never know quite what they're going to look like.
Well, that's true. And I've got some that I bought, and it's not the material I thought it was and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is like nylon or whatever. I don't know, whatever the fuck.
There is that
thing,
yeah. Like you buy sometimes, like in the clothes shop, you'll get something off the shelf and you try it on, and you'll think this is going to look amazing. I might as well just try it on, but I know it's going to look amazing. And you try it on, and you're like, oh fucking hell, this looks shit. Why does this look so weird on me? And it's because we all have.
But I mean, you know what? But it's easier.
Gangly...
It's easier for men. I mean, if you think about women, if they don't try stuff on, the sizes that women get are madly different from the sizes that men get. Because I mean, men tend to be you're either small, medium, large, or you're in the XXL department, right? You go in there.
You've given up.
But generally speaking, the only thing where you need to worry about fitting is trousers. Because, you got different length legs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we don't have the different styles of hips and butts and boobs to worry about. Like, it's not an issue.
But it's
a lot easier. I can buy a t-shirt, no problem.
A big part of clothes shopping and a big factor into the system of purchasing clothes is returns, right? Like, it's like, say you order something online, you order a shirt and it gets down and it doesn't fit. You can return it. And they'll normally pay.
But it's a lot more hassle.
They'll normally pay for the postage and everything.
It's more of a nuisance.
Credit you back, and then you can just like.
Have you ever returned?
Personally, no. But
like, how much stuff have you returned that you've bought online? Because I don't think I've ever.
My wife does it all the time. Like
Really?
Every day there's something parceled up ready to be returned. Like it's
Wow.
crazy.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I had a week off this week of streaming, and I had like an extra sort of 20 hours to do. So I built some Lego, and last week I boxed some stuff up for you, Sips, and I sent it your way.
Oh yeah, I got the box. I haven't opened it yet. I got it yesterday.
I wrote a little postcard to your son.
Oh, thanks.
Because he sent me a letter, so I sent one back.
That's nice.
And I had to find a post box. I know it wasn't that difficult, but it was like I had to buy some stamps.
Right.
And so do you know what I mean? Like this, it's time that I didn't normally have. I'm not saying I had to go to the post office and send this box. Like it was just kind of. I didn't mind doing it, but it was definitely out of my way. And I feel like if I'm buying clothes online, I just want to be efficient. Do you know what I mean? I want to buy a lot of clothes and then take a whole lot back. I don't want to like buy a shirt, find it didn't fit. God, it's such a pain in the ass.
What?
So maybe that's
I'm
why.
at the point in my life where, and I've kind of only just realized this. I can't remember the last time I went to buy clothes, and it turns out that most of the clothes that I currently have are clothes that have been given to me. Right? I think as a dad,
Yes.
you accumulate shirts a lot.
Shirts and t-shirts.
Nobody knows what to get you,
Yeah.
so they'll get you like stupid novelty shirts. Like I got a Fallout shirt for my birthday, which is really nice for my kids and stuff. Before that, at Christmas, I got some sort of shirt or whatever. So now my shirt drawer is just filled with shirts that have been given to me. Like I never go online to buy clothes. I never go clothes shopping. I only go if I absolutely like it's like a complete and utter necessity to do so. Like
You love the
Right.
Fallout
I'm
shirt.
out of clothes.
You're going to love what I've got you then in that case.
All right, great.
Is it a Fallout shirt?
Because unusually...
Well, is
spoilers.
it actually thoughtful, or is it just like I remember one year for Christmas you got me The Art of Erotic Dancing, a DVD, which I still have in here, and it's in its shrink wrapping still. That was a nice gift, honestly. I mean,
What else have I brought you over the years? Random crap.
random crap. Yeah, that's a good summary. Yeah.
Well, like when you were on your birthday, you were playing so much Fallout. I got some stuff on a sale, and I was like, Sips is gonna love this.
Nice.
And I looked at it, and I was like,
Nice.
this is a bit weird. Sips is gonna love
Oh,
this.
fuck, I
So
better
it's a
go
bit- it's a
open that
bit-
box then. I just thought it was going to be a bunch of junk in there, but now
You didn't even open it?
it only came yesterday. I haven't had a chance.
Are you serious?
Exactly. See, this is what I'm talking
Yes.
about. We're busy. We're doing stuff. If he'd had a week off streaming, he would have found plenty of time. I built a little bit of Lego this
There you
week.
go. Lewis has built Lego this week.
A parcel arrives, I open it straight away.
Wow.
Like, what are you like Christmas morning?
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
cracking
exciting to
open
get
that-
mail. I got some
stuff.
post just this morning. And do you know what? I tore it open excitedly. It's my new resident parking permit for the year.
Wow.
Very exciting.
That's pretty exciting, actually. I would love to.
Very exciting.
I'd love to get a resident parking permit.
2 days ago, box arrived. Mrs. F had ordered some plates. But the thing with Mrs. F is she can't visualize how big a measurement would be when she sees it online. So she sees the plates. These are very small plates. She thought they were like regular sized plates. These are smaller than a teacup.
That's how
like
they get you.
the teacup plate. What do they call it? A saucer? They're smaller than a saucer. And she was like, well, look at this. There's like 18 of them for a bargain price. So this was meant to replace our side plates, many of which the kids have broken or they're cracked and stuff. We've had them for years. So she got them. You could not fit a sandwich. Like it's smaller than a slice of bread.
So they're like,
And
are they
I
like?
don't know what they're for.
I guess they're for like putting sweet chili sauce in or something, or like
No,
hummus
they're like
or whatever.
they don't
the
even have
table.
like much of a lip. They're almost flat.
Fucking well, it's like one of those things though. It is that the worst thing is cracking open a present or not a present, like a delivery or something that's been sent to you, and
They're like
finding out
presents.
it's that fucking tube of toothpaste you ordered. And it's a bit.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit disappointing because
It
there
is.
is that wonderful magical. This is why you shouldn't order toothpaste online when you run out with those Amazon buttons. Don't do it because it's going to cause you like disappointment every day. When
Yeah,
when
you're going to
it's the
think it's a
dishwasher
present.
tablets.
It's toothpaste.
No.
We get that all the time. We get a parcel. I open it up. It's stuff for the dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just
That's
like,
not
oh,
a present for me. That's not
yeah.
going
Or
to
it's
cheer
like
me up.
water for the iron. We buy this filtered water so it doesn't clog it up with. In London, everything clogs up with what is it called?
Lime scale.
Lime scale, right? So we buy. It's a nice iron, and we don't want it to break. It's like the best iron we've ever had. It's like this fancy steam iron and everything. Fill up the reservoir in the base with water, and it's got a pipe going to the iron, so it's You don't fill up the iron. You fill up this base unit. It's really cool. Very, very, very
God, I think I
big
just
fan of this
fell
iron.
asleep
Big
for a
fan of this
second.
iron.
My household has no longer any need for an iron and has not had one for quite some time, which
Wow.
is a nice point to get to. Yeah,
Why is it no longer a need for an
Fuck
iron?
irons. Yeah, no one needs
Because
irons.
everybody is
I
at
always
home.
wear a hoodie. No one sees my crinkled up
Yeah,
t-shirt.
that's it. I
and
just
I'm not
wear
ironing my
like
fucking jeans, am I? Or
I
bed
wear
sheets,
dad
who
shorts
cares?
and t-shirts and stuff for the most part. My
not
wife
saying
doesn't
I
need to
iron.
really iron her clothes.
I don't iron my clothes ever. Like, it's only if I'm specifically going out to see people other than my family.
Right.
Then I'll iron a shirt, right? But I mean, don't you feel bad? Mrs. F is really well turned out every day.
Yeah, but she works at an office though.
No, but
normally.
even when we've been at home, she dresses in a nice dress. She does her hair. She does her makeup.
Yeah,
she's got jewelry
it
on.
makes you feel
and there's
good.
me. I'm wearing the same shorts I've worn all week.
Yeah.
And a scrubby old t-shirt that's all crinkled to fuck.
Yeah, my wife is the same, but she doesn't need to iron anything.
Right,
Like,
but why do they put up with it, Sips, is my question.
I don't know.
I'm so bad at ironing though that I feel like I actually make it actively worse. Do you know what I mean? It has like creases and weird shit in it that like I feel like it's actually the shirt was better before I started ironing it.
Do you need me
know?
to teach you how to iron a shirt? Because I'm quite good at it.
Well,
I feel like somehow men get away with the whole "I am what I am," like love it or leave it sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I don't think we should. That's
No,
what I'm
I
saying.
don't think we should either, but we do. I think.
come on, we gotta
like,
take
somehow.
what benefits we've got, P
Oh,
Flags,
yeah.
in this
Jeez,
patriarchal society where we are the kings.
Give us something, ladies, please.
God, jeez, you've stolen everything. You guys can give birth to other life. You can do
Raise
you can do
them.
everything. We can't do shit. Oh man, yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird how that imbalance exists, doesn't it? Because men, I don't think would ever put up with it, right? Like a woman.
Well, you know what I think it is? I'll be honest with you. First of all, I know that, and this is going to sound sexist, but I do know that women judge what other women wear quite strongly.
Right.
Like, typically speaking.
More so that men judge other men.
I agree.
Unless,
Like, we might
unless
tease
you're
each other
into
occasionally.
fashion. If you're a man who's into fashion, suddenly you're looking at everyone else.
Right. But a lot of blokes, especially when you get to my age and Sif's age, I'm not thinking I'm going to pop to the shop. I better put on my hipster trousers and this cool t-shirt I got. I just go down there because I want to get what I want to get, right?
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
know that if I bumped into another dad, he wouldn't look me up and down and be like, wow, you really made an effort. He wouldn't give a shit
Yeah.
any more than I
it's
would.
like
You know what I
Sips
mean?
wearing the shorts. Do you know what I mean? They notice the shorts because it's like fucking snow on the ground. And, Sips is
Right,
still...
that's the only time it would be
I
comment
think
worthy.
I feel like men become complacent a lot
Agreed.
a lot more readily than women do. I think women.
But we never had much to work with in the first place.
No, but women seem to constantly make an effort in all areas, right?
They've got more options.
They do, but
They've got
still
standards
go
to
the
uphold,
extra
though.
mile,
They've
right?
got more expectations. Like men
Yes,
is the
my
kind
expectation is I'm a mess. And, I expect in any relationship, you kind of two people that are a mess. You need one of them to have their shit together and be well turned out. What if the police came around for some reason and we're both turning up looking like we just woke up? You know what I mean? One of us needs to look like they're on it.
I
So
wouldn't even
Mrs.
answer
F,
the
luckily,
door.
she looked, well, exactly.
I would be
mean,
screaming out of my window, I'm calling my lawyer right now. I wouldn't even answer the door.
So we're just asking everybody in the neighborhood, no, get away from me.
Yeah.
No questions.
I'm at that point with the
No
police now.
consent to search.
I have no time for them. I can't be bothered. If they're knocking on my door, they can speak to somebody else. I'm not talking to them. Because it's
You
all
are a
these
uniquely antisocial individual, though.
No, but it's all these games and shit that they play, right? Like, they're like vampires. They try to get invited into your house and stuff like that. It's like, fuck off. Go fucking bother somebody else. I'm not doing anything here. Like, you don't need to talk to me.
Hold up the garlic.
Yeah. Fucking cops, get out of here.
Is it true that I'm sure I saw in a vampire movie that they can't cross running water? I think that happened to Dracula in one of the movies.
Oh, maybe.
Is that
Yeah.
he can't cross running water? What? Of all the weaknesses, I mean, it doesn't even make sense. What's their problem with running water?
Well, I think they
What a
could
weird
cross still water. They could go up. I've seen them on planes getting around it,
Right. But what if, I mean, first of all, that means how did Dracula get on that boat?
He was
the one that
loaded
took him to
on
London.
with a crane.
Yeah, but he's not
in his
allowed to cross
coffin.
running water.
Yeah, but if he's in his coffin, it's fine.
You don't think it would freak him out? So what's the deal? He just doesn't like it?
He's
or
like hibernating the whole time.
Look,
When he's on a boat, if he's ever on a container ship or a boat or whatever, as vampires, that's how they seem to get around. Even though they can
Right.
fly, boggles
Yeah,
the
but you
mind.
get tired. I mean, geez, you got to
guess
eat some.
so,
You
yeah.
got to suck some blood. You're not going to find it halfway across the Atlantic.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, so I think they just sort of hibernate in their coffin for like the long.
But so is the restriction? Is it I don't want to do it, or is it like a physical? He can't, like a force field. Like, are we just assuming vampires are like, oh no, I couldn't cross running water, mate?
Yeah, probably
no.
not. There's all sorts of weird stipulations. It's like curse being a vampire, right? So there's lots of downsides to it.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm just curious what
Shouldn't be so
the
glamorous.
limitation is. Is it a self-inflicted limitation?
No,
Is
of
it like a
course not.
phobia that they have? Like, what's the deal?
Because vampires try to do as much as
I
they
tell
can.
you what, you never see a shabby vampire, do you?
A shabby
They're always
vampire?
impeccably turned out.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, like women, vampires and women.
It's kind of forced on them though, like in the same way that women feel like they have to dress smart and wear makeup and conform. You know.
You know what? You know what's occurred to me is that what if the whole vampire thing is like a warning to men not to get married? What do you think?
Maybe. I mean,
Like, I'm just wondering if it's like if part of the root fear, like, you know, oh, don't marry her, she's a bloodsucker. You know what I mean? Like that idea that men that this vampire is going to suck the goodness out of you slowly over time
Yeah,
and
turn you into their thrall.
make you their thrall. That might be part of the, you know, the men's fear of being tied down.
Yeah, because it's like
Maybe.
it sounds good for like a hot woman to be in your bedroom and like
Right.
going for your neck, but then suddenly you're enslaved.
You're doing everything she tells you,
Yeah,
and
you're putting the
you're
bins
slowly
out.
dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you can't go outside anymore. You're stuck in the house all
ironing
day.
stuff. You're ironing the bed
Exactly.
sheets.
They don't want to cross running water. And famously, women hate running water, of course.
Yeah, because it makes them feel like they
they don't like the
pee.
smell of garlic. If I eat loads of garlic, Mrs. F is like, stop trying to kiss me.
They
you
got a
stick
very
of garlic.
sensitive sense of smell, more than us, more than men.
And they,
you know,
they despise God.
They
so
hate God.
hate God.
If I've ever known anything about women, it's how much they hate God.
that's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
attribute.
That's one
I
of the
would definitely.
That's one of those things.
That's such a stereotype, and it's there for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, they hate
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
What
And
else?
They could turn into a bat.
No, vampires. Well, yeah, I suppose
Oh.
vampires. Yeah.
I think they could turn into a wolf as well. The she-wolf, right?
Oh.
And bats, you know, kind of high-pitched voices, just like a woman, just like that.
All right, let's stop. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast. We'll see you all next time.
Oh my god.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.